Hello, welcome back to other study on the training of psychosocial counseling. This is your host, Dr. Tulipo Mwenfumbo. Last time we were talking about the introduction to psychology. As we say that psychosocial counseling has the components of sociology, psychology, counseling, public health, and other disciplines. So for you to be an effective counselor, you need to understand and also to have an idea of what sociology is all about. So the term psychology, psychosocial also contains the term social, which is comes from the word society. And today we are going to look at the second module of this course, which is sociology. Um, the course of this module, sociology, will introduce you to the field of sociology by focusing on several important sociological topics, including socialization, culture, social construction of knowledge, inequality, race, ethic, relations, poverty, and political sociology. So, where the term sociology comes from the term society, and the term society comes from the Greek from the Latin word socius, which means society, alliance, confederation, collusion, or community. So now, how do we define this term? The term sociology. Sociology is the study of society and its behavior. It is the study of society and its behavior. So the study of social life, social change, and social causes and consequences of human behavior. So when we are talking about sociology, we are talking about the social life, we are talking about social change, and we are also talking about the social causes and consequences of human behavior. So now the behavior of people, sometimes they are determined by the society. So the society can be able to create a certain perspective on certain things, and that is called behavior. Now, sociology is the scientific study of society, including patterns of social relationships, social interaction, and culture. So, the study of social life, social change, and social causes and the consequences of human behavior. So this is what sociology is all about. It looks at the life, how people interact, how people live in the society, what institution governs them, and how they live. So it talks about the culture, the beliefs, and other things that are composed in this course. So now, why should we study sociology in this in the psychosocial counseling? So the reason why we should understand, or we should have an idea about sociology in psychosocial counseling, is that we may know how to examine issues that influence the society. There are some times where people maybe, let's take, for example, the husband and the wife. You find that they have got differences, not because they are fighting each other. Now, just because they have got what is called they come from different cultures, and they have got different beliefs and different understanding on certain issues. So you will find that the way maybe the husband comes from maternal tribe, and the husband comes from the wife comes from maternal tribe, the husband comes from paternal tribe. So the perspective on issues, it will differ according to where the culture they have been brought up in. So hence the differences will be there because of the different perspective. So psychosocial counselor, you need to understand and you need to examine issues that influence the society. Then the other thing is to enable participants to understand how social influence affects individual well-being and decision. Now, the other thing is the societies that we are brought in, and also the classes that we are brought in. So it will influence our perspective and how we view things. So that may cause also the differences in perceiving things, like the high class, they have got a certain way they perceive things, and also the low class. The society, according to a person he has been brought up with, according to the less and all those things. So we need to understand what things influences our decision and our well-being. So again, we need to understand and we need to learn this course because it will help us to apply sociology knowledge in effective counseling. So when we understand sociology, it is going to help us to be effective counselors. So the topics we are just going to have to peruse on this subjects. It's just a topic and we are just going to look at it in a nutshell. So when we look at, we are just going to take the four major issues in sociology, which is social interaction. We are going to look at social organization. We are going to look at social institution, and we are going to look at social change. So these are the things that we are going to look at, and we are going to have an understanding according to the area of study, which is psychosocial counseling, what we are trying to achieve as counselors. Now, let's look at social interaction. A social interaction is an exchange between two or more individuals and is a building block of society. So social interaction, it is the exchange between two people, how two people or more people are living in a given place and how they are interacting. So that is what is called social interaction. So this builds the block of a society. You may find that the society is made of individuals to the nation until to the entire world. Now, whilst we were looking at psychology as the mind and the behavior of a human being, or the behavior and the mind of a person. Now, in sociology, we are looking at the interaction and the behavior of people. So that is where now we are looking at how people interact. Now, when we talk about the interaction, we are talking about from one individual to another. So when two people meet, then the interaction begins, and up to the society, the family, the society, the nation, and the continent, and the entire world. So social interaction can be studied between groups of two or three or large social groups. By interacting with one another, people design rules, institutions, and systems within which they seek. So when people come together, they begin to interact. When they begin to interact, they begin to come up with rules. For example, the Bible says two cannot work together unless they agree. So when you just come together, like when the husband and the wife comes together, they begin to interact, and they begin to automatically the rules begins to be created. When you just meet your friend, you begin to talk, you start creating the rules directly or indirectly, because you have to agree on certain things, and agreeing on certain things that are going to bind you together and that are going to make you to live together, that becomes what is called interaction in sociology. So social interaction facilitates personality development and personal perception, as well as provide a forum for expression of personality. So now, when we are on social interactions in sociology, this is a study whereby we look at how relationships and interactions facilitate personality development. So when I meet a friend and we start chatting, we start interacting, number one, there is the rules that we create, direct and indirect. Then from that interaction there is what is called personal development, and also you may find that my perception begins to change. I begin to create certain perception, maybe the way this person is behaving, the way he views things. I begin to tap into that, and it begins to provide the expression, and you find that the personality begins to change. Then in turn, personality guides people to our personality. They help us to interact, and they are formed and shaped by the society. So the society will be able to shape our interaction. The second topic that we are looking at in this introduction is social organization. So when we talk about social organization, we refer to the structure and the coordinated arrangement of individuals and institutions within a society characterized by order, stability, and shared norms. While social disorganization donates the breakdown of these elements, often caused by factors such as inequality, left society and changes. So there is what is called social organization. So the social organization, it is a set of or the structures that are coordinated within the societies. Now these structures, they form up maybe tribes, they may form up institutions and leadership and all that. So there is what we call in anthropology, there is what we call anthropos. In anthropology, there is what is called ethnicity. So ethnicity, it's a term which comes from the Greek word ethnic, the word ethnic. So ethnic, it's a group of people. It's a certain group of people. Now, when we talk about ethnicity, we are talking about the people that are like we are talking about the sets of people, the sets of people, like the tribes, the professions, and all that. You may find that, for example, we may talk about in anthropology, we may or even pick like teachers. It becomes an ethnic group. It's just more like tribe. So when people, professionals also create a certain norms, a certain character, a certain way of interaction, the certain behavior, and all that. So that is what it does. So when we talk about ethnicity, which is social organization, they create certain norms. I'll give you an example. Like we have got this organization, like a General Nursing Council of Zambia, that regulates the behavior and also the practice of nursing. We have got Zambia Counselling Council that regulates and the behavior of counselors in Zambia. Now, that becomes a social organization. So this social organization, they make a person. They create certain norms, they create certain behaviors because because of the organization that you belong to. You'll find that even your behavior begins to align with that organization. As teachers, we don't do this. As counselors, we don't do this. A counselor should behave like this. A pastor should do like this. So you may find that those becomes also the ethnic groups. They become the ethnicity. Although the ethnic groups, we mostly in the layman's understanding, we look at maybe the tribes, the less or what. But in the as a sociologist, you have to look in more understanding than just looking at the grouping of people. So that is social organization. Now we are social organization also, like ethnics. We can also talk about the tribes. the how the tribes, the languages, and all those things that makes people to be organized in a certain way. So now these are created by, there are some elements that creates these societies. As I said, when it comes to professional societies, our social organization, they are created by certain norms and certain ideas, because they behave, or they have got a certain thing that they relate in. Now, we have got also in sociology what is called social institution. Now, social institutions are the established patterns of beliefs, behavior, and relationships that organize a social life. Now, when we talk about social institutions, mostly we are the social institutions, they govern, or the major institutions that we can talk about in the society, the families, the schools, the education, the government, and the churches or religions. So social institutions are the established patterns of beliefs, behavior, and relationships that organize social life. Social institutions exist to meet society fundamental needs, such as providing structural guidance and order. So when we look at the three major social institutions, number one, it is the nation or the government. Then number two, we have got the family. And number three, we have got the religious organization. So these are the major institutions. So now when we look at these institutions, they influence the education, the beliefs, and the understanding. So in sociology, you may find that the government, the way the government is structured, it has got there are laws that are made by the parliament, and there is a constitution that governs the nation. And also, as a nation, we have got the doctrines that are enshrined in the constitutions. So the behavior and the way we view things as Zambians may be different from the other people. So it is going to influence it is going to give us the beliefs, the behaviors, and the relationships. So when you look at the preamble of the Constitution, you may find that it announces who we are. It announces our beliefs as a nation. So that is an institution. And also we look at the organization of the government, how the government has structured the organization, the education, and all that. So same like the churches, the church or the religious organizations, they have got also the influence. They have got the government, they have got the way they perceive things, and the belief they are supposed to believe in, and all that. So they make it becomes the institutions, and how the education has to be structured. They have got a certain sociological belief on how things are supposed to be done. Then we have got also what is known as the family. So the family, it is also an institution that governs the well-being, or that teaches people the beliefs, the norms, the education, and all that. So these are the major institutions which are called social institutions. So they have got the influence on the behavior, on their interaction and other things. Then I'll give you let me give you the critical thing when it comes to the problems that these societies causes. We have got, maybe for example, you are a Zambian and there is a Congolese. So there was a time when a Zambian was murdered in Congo, and there was riot at at Sokone market, and they started beating all the Congolese. Now, when you look at that fight, the fight did not come on the personal level. The fight came because of the these organize these institutions which are like the nation. So you perceive that this Congolese and the Zambian, we are two different people. This they have injured our brother and all that. So then the other thing is same like when you look at the religions, the people begins to fight, no as what the Muslims, the Christians, and their physical and also debates and misunderstanding just because of these religions and belief. Same like families, you may find that we fight because of the families that we belong to. So those are the organizations. Now the beliefs that are created in those institutions, they make people to behave in a certain way. They make people to believe in a certain way. They make people to be educated in a certain way. Now, the last thing that we look at it is a social change in sociology. So, sociologists define social change as changes in human interactions and relationships that transform cultural and social institutions. So now, like we are seeing the shift, what is called globalization, where now the culture is being influenced by the other cultures, and we are becoming as a global world. So these changes occur over time and often have profound and long-term consequences for the society. So there are changes that comes in the society. Sometimes they come slowly. But now, one thing that we have to realize that we are living in a global generation whereby you are able to communicate with someone in US, someone in Asia, and someone in a second. So you are able to interact and you are able to exchange things. So the society is there is a change that is becoming the way they behave, the way children are behaving, the way parents are behaving, and there are a lot of changes that are taking place. So, as a psychosocial counselor, you have to understand what is called social changes, and mostly people want to hold on to the past cultures whereby no matter how much you try to hold on to them, when the world evolves, you cannot continue living the way the past we are living. That is a thing that makes a fight between the young ones and the older ones. I'll give you an example like in our generation, those that were born before 80s and 80s going up, our parents were very authoritative, and we will have to fear your dad, and you should not the dad was so much respected and highly esteemed such that you cannot even come closer to your dad. And that is how the society was. Now look at this generation where the children are friends to their fathers. They are so much close to their fathers. In this generation, we may find that children are more closer to their fathers than to their mothers. But in our generation, we were more closer to our mothers than to our fathers, because our fathers were depicted in that as authoritative. So those are the social changes. Now, you may find that you may want your children to behave the way you used to behave in those days, but it may not work out. Now, according to this theory, there is only one factor, like Karl Marx said, there is only one factor that creates what is called the social change. And in the mind of Karl Marx, he said that economical factors is the only factor responsible for bringing social change. So all the changes that happens in the society, they are as a result of they are as a result of the economical challenges or the economical factors. So that is the hint about sociology. So we have looked at the some of the things that like we have talked about, so social interactions, social organizations, social institutions, and social change. So these are the factors that shapes our sociological well-being. Um, so we are not going to go into in details, but I want us to just to have this hint. But in the assignment, I'm going to give you some of the things that you have to look at and to research about on sociology, and especially we are just going to look at how culture influences the behavior or the psychosocial behavior of people. Thank you so much for having this time to be with me. I look forward to be with you next in the next class. God bless you, and let's continue to interact. Please remember to subscribe to the my YouTube channel so that you may have the update, and also remember to like this visual, this video. Thank you so much, and God bless you. This is your host, Dr. Tulipo Mwinfumbo.